Gonna do a little post-market video review. So yeah, we got the trend. I had discussed that we could get extra volatility today because of the FOMC announcement, as well as the candlestick pattern was contracted. You're getting volatility contraction. You can call that pattern a narrow range day. We were also at major support. We had a bullish RSI cross on the weekly, and then today we actually had a bullish RSI cross on the bi-weekly, which is a longer term investment confirmation signal that the momentum is in the favor of the bulls now. Obviously the market structure needs to hold, or that's invalid, but right now it's valid. So yeah, I planned this out, but my car got frozen. I couldn't get into it, so I couldn't execute. So I guess the theme of today's video is how to stay positive when you feel a lot of irritation and anger, because part of trading is once you understand the market from a analysis point of view, then there's the execution part, which is just like sometimes life gets in the middle of it. But what you don't want to do is, you know, if you miss the low of the day because I couldn't get to the market, you don't want to then start fading a really bad pullback setup because it already moved quite a bit and into resistance. So too close to that edge. So the best thing to do is just try to correct with your speech and NLP thought patterns any negative thoughts and feelings that are coming up because you missed out. Because for me, you know, who doesn't? I hate missing moves more than I hate taking a loss, and especially one that I kind of planned out. Now we went straight line up. So basically, yeah, you kind of want to avoid the pullback continuation setup when you make a very straight line move into resistance. So that was a pretty powerful, quick move. Obviously the bias and the bulls are in control, but when you go right up into resistance, it's like how much more is on the day. It could break out, it could not. It could be the end of the move. It could be a deeper pullback. There was a pullback at the most aggressive fib ratio. I wanted 38.2, but I was like, we probably won't get it due to the strength of the day. But at the same time, because of that resistance zone, it's just something that I really can't get excited about because I'm not sure about the risk reward. Plus, we're kind of towards the end of the day. So if anyone wants to work with me more directly, one-on-one, this cabin is an Airbnb for rent next door. So, but yeah, I posted office hours. No one showed up, but I get it. This is a tough time for a lot of people to stay positive, but this is exactly when, because the sentiment's so down. But just so you know, I'll post it later. The sentiment chart has bottomed out, so that's traditionally a bull reversal signal. Eddie doing his business here. I'm about to kick it right in the woods. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if I should go down here today. It's pretty slippery here. Maybe actually, no, snow time takes the fall a bit. here for a little bit. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be slipping on this edge here. So one of the things I would suggest doing is listening each day to that video that I just pinned under the psychology banner, because you know he's right. If you think thoughts and feel emotions that are negative, all you have to do is become the awareness of that, and then you know let go of the judgment and the guilt for feeling those negative emotions, and then simply if you catch yourself speaking it out loud, oh, I'm having a bad day. Nothing works out for me. I started to do that this morning. Couldn't open the car door. I was like, oh, why didn't I just get up earlier, you know? But it was frozen. And what are you going to do? And then as I'm driving back to the treehouse, all the air in my tires starts to go out because it's been so cold. And I had to find the right gas station to fill it up because the first one was broken. So I was like, okay, well, there's the trade. And I guess if I was going to take a breakout, I should have took the initial thrust up early on the day, because one of the cues that I have is get on board the trend early. You know? You try to get on board once everyone sees that it's a trend, especially up into resistance, and it's moved max past the average true range. Well, it's not a good setup. But yeah, breakouts aren't something that I teach because a lot of times, although there are setups for it, because it's just most of the time the market is not breaking out, but because we have a higher way of looking at the market, a more sophisticated way, we don't just follow price. We were talking about how today could be a trend day ahead of time. And I suggest that you guys go back and review those 11 pre-market, before it opens, conditions that increase the probability for a trend day. Obviously, you know, some of them could be on the sheet already, like candlestick pattern, could represent volatility contraction, but won't necessarily represent a mature balance, which is another factor that would increase the probability for a trend. The longer you balance, greater the odds that you break out of it, because all balances will end in trends, and all trends will end in balances. Except some trends do on a smaller occasion end in a climax, which is like a V reversal in the case of an uptrend or a downtrend, and then an inverse V climax in the case of an uptrend. So, but we're not interested in what happens some of the time. We're probably interested more often in what happens most of the time. All right, guys, come on here. So, besides the hack of not speaking those things, the other thing that I did over the weekend was I did a setting Psilocybin magic mushroom trip. So that's why I wasn't actually at my treehouse. And the reason why I did that is even though intellectually I can talk about all this stuff, sometimes you still feel those energies, and I have trapped energy in my upper back and spine that has lodged there, and it's just, who wants that pain in the neck? So I did a psilocybin trip. Actually, a store in my hometown sells them if you say the right words. They escort you in the back room. So, but they are very interesting because it's similar. The dose that I did take was it was the lower end of a high dose. So it definitely was like walls melting type of thing. So you had to be, in the right set and setting. And yeah, basically what I experienced on it was a complete loss of normal motor function and brain pattern repetition, so that I was forced to go inward and examine how I was thinking and why I was thinking. And then it was the rebirth of it was formulating a new mode. It was almost like I had to learn how to walk again. I was like, okay, this is cool. Something I definitely don't want to do all the time, but it was pretty interesting. Yeah, something, you know, some people like to look at things and it'll move, and they'll look outward and see things spiral and stuff. Yeah, I saw a little bit of that, but I was mostly interested in the therapeutic inward experience. So it was definitely a more private thing. Of course, I brought my dogs with me because they were great chaperones to do this out. This is a good place to do a set and setting here. You could bring a chair on a warmer day and sit outside here, but I was kind of in a safer area than here just because it's some drops and so on. So yeah, I guess the takeaway is, you know, trading forces you to jujitsu your energy, because every day there could be a problem, you know, even when you plan it out right. Sometimes life prevents you from executing, and then the guilt comes in, like, why didn't I do this? I shouldn't have done that. I should have been more focused over the weekend, and I should have just traded at the spot when I realized I couldn't get in my car. All that stuff, cut that out. You got to cut that out. It's done with. Okay, so you have to let it go and be, you know, the greatest traders are very kind to themselves. And if we have a better dialogue with our inner self, then we not only become better traders, we just become better people in general. Better at handling other people, interacting, and checking in and knowing how we're going to respond. I mean, I already was anticipating that I was about to feel irritation because I hate missing moves. And now it's just not as there anymore. Because the not speaking it, the catching it is really important, because it loses its power, the negative thought. And of course, if you do the right research on it and you think it's for you, and the set and setting's right, definitely not for me a social drug or anything by that means. I would, you know, consider psilocybin the magic mushroom, the brain and energy reorganization. So yeah, I'm post psilocybin therapy this weekend and feeling a little calmer about trading. So I have to say, hey, overall, the more you mature emotionally and psychically, the better you're going to trade, because, you know, your only job as a trader is to maintain an optimal state of mind and follow correct process. It's not to always make money every single day. So by saying that, that prevented you, let's say, from, you know, buying at the high when I said, hey guys, this is at resistance, everyone knows it's a trend, just, you know, don't buy now. And, you know, even though it can break up, it's still correct process to be conservative, because you should trade conservatively by following correct process, because the correct process will allow you to make the most amount of money in the long run. So it's about a 13-minute video, post-market cap. Not to make it any longer than this, really, but yeah, just if you're in the position where you called the market right and didn't execute on it, that's life. It happens. It's the resiliency and the ability to bounce back that counts. So let's have some great trading. It's only a Tuesday. We got plenty of week left, and we got a potentially re-bullish market here. Let's go.